Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom are officially done. After nearly a decade together, an engagement, and even a daughter, they have officially called it quits. But here's what's crazy. Just a few months ago, Katy dropped her 143 album filled with love songs clearly about Orlando.
Katy, I love you!
Now, sources are saying they've been falling apart behind the scenes for a while. So what gives? Was the relationship already over while she was singing about him? In this video, we're unpacking the sudden breakup, the red flags fans missed, what Scandalous Media sources called 3 years ago, and yes, I've got some insider tea you won't hear anywhere else, so stay tuned.
Who initiated getting back together? And I was like, I'll pop over. Oh, Katy.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Scandalous Media. It's Angela here, and not to say I told you so, but I told you so. While Orlando and Katy have dodged drama publicly for years, there have been some shady things going on behind the scenes for quite some time now, and I'm ready to spill the tea as we go through the downfall of their relationship in the public eye. Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe for new videos every week, and turn on those post notifications so you don't miss our live chat premieres. Oh, and a quick update, we've officially got a new Instagram called The Scandalous Media, since sadly our old one got disabled, so make sure you're following us there. Chapters are down below if you want to skip around, but if you're ready, let's get into it. Katy and Orlando's relationship, the cheating rumors timeline. 3 years ago, I posted a blog post all about Katy Perry, and there I wrote, according to my source, Orlando cheated on Katy a lot, and I specifically said, my bet, she won't make it down the aisle. And which starlight did he supposedly cheat with publicly on Katy? Well, keep on watching. So Orlando and Katy first met at a Golden Globes after party in January 2016 over In-N-Out.
I met my boyfriend over In-N-Out.
You did?
We were at the Golden Globes and we weren't together, and so I had my security guard grab 10 In-N-Outs.
Oh my God.
And all of a sudden I see my boyfriend's hand. He wasn't even sitting at our table. He just swoops in and he grabs it, and I'm like, hey, that's my pervert.
Since the very start, they had these sources already spilling the tea to People magazine, which is relevant today considering what People magazine ends up saying about their breakup. In February 2016, about a month later, Orlando introduced Katy to his son with his ex, Miranda Kerr. He also took her to his manager's birthday party, and according to a source who spoke to People magazine, they were spending more time together and starting to introduce each other to their friends. Now, May 2016 is an interesting month. Are you paying attention? On May 19th, 2016, Katy and Orlando made their relationship Instagram official after attending the Cannes Film Festival. Here's what most people won't tell you, and here's what they all leave out when discussing their relationship timeline. Selena Gomez.
What?
I know you're like, huh, who brought her here? Well, the devil works hard, but Selena works harder because she and Orlando actually have some history. So in April 2016, a Scandalous Media source claimed that Selena Gomez and Orlando Bloom were hooking up, and this was part of a spring break marathon we hosted years ago on our blog. Things got even more scandalous when you remembered that Selena and Orlando were seen together under suspicious circumstances back in 2014. He was spotted trailing behind her at an airport, and then there was that wild moment where they were reportedly drunk sitting on the floor in the middle of the street. At the same time, drama was swirling around Miranda Kerr and Justin Bieber. Miranda and Orlando were still married and going through a messy divorce battle both in court and in the media. Miranda even had to state in official court papers that she did not sleep with Justin. Now the story goes that Selena made a comment to Orlando about Justin hooking up with Miranda, which sparked the infamous restaurant fight where Orlando actually punched Justin. But why is this relevant? Well, after we published that story in April 2016, less than a month later, in May 2016, photos surfaced of Orlando and Selena cozying up all together at her revival party. Now this caused a huge scandal, especially since the last time they'd been seen together was back in 2014, and just a month before, we had told you that they were hooking up. Now TMZ was messy as usual, posting the photos and writing, sources in the club tell us Orlando was a surprise late addition to the party and made a major impression when he got there. We're told things got very touchy-feely quickly before 23-year-old Selena and 39-year-old Orlando started neck nuzzling and embracing in a booth. So, about Katy Perry, far as we knew, she and Orlando were still together. So 9 days later, Katy and Orlando made things Instagram official. The same night when Orlando and Selena were getting all neck-nuzzly in public, Katy was tweeting about growing old with Orlando. So that's a little scandalous media tea for you. Now after those photos of Orlando and Selena dropped, everyone started questioning the status of Katy in Orlando's relationship, which probably explains why Katy rushed to make things Instagram official. I'll dive deeper into her need to hold on to the relationship later in the video and what might have gone wrong. Anyway, they kept dating until February 2017 when they showed up separately at the annual Vanity Fair Oscars party. Their reps at the time said, "Before rumors or falsifications get out of hand, we can confirm that Orlando and Katy are taking respectful, loving space at this time." They spent the rest of 2017 insisting they were just friends until a year later, in February 2018, when they reunited for a vacation. Spotted strolling through Prague together, a source told People magazine that after the split, they stayed in touch. It wasn't some awful split, they were just busy with their careers and it wasn't working. They are dating, but not necessarily putting a label on it. They are not girlfriend and boyfriend, they do seem very happy together though. I've always believed their relationship to be toxic because of all the industry whispers I heard about them, but nonetheless, September 2018 rolls around and they make their red carpet debut. Then in February 2019, they get engaged when Orlando proposed on Valentine's Day.
But it was really sweet. He asked me to marry him in a helicopter.
They move in together a month later, and a source is whispering to People magazine all about how it's their natural next step, and Miranda and Katy get along, yada 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 yada. But here's where things start to shift again. Postponed vows and a baby as a band-aid. March 2020 rolls around and that's when they announced they're expecting a baby and conveniently also postponed their wedding, officially blaming the pandemic. According to People magazine's imaginary hidden camera in their bedroom, the wedding was all set for Japan with 150 guests and Katy was reportedly thrilled about the idea of walking down the aisle pregnant. A few months later, in August, she gives birth. They celebrate Mother's Day in May 2021, start an ad together in June, and mark their daughter Daisy's first birthday in August. Then in February 2022, Katy opens up again about her wedding plans with Orlando.
It's a destination location that, like, you know, we're still trying for it to work out, but every couple of months it's like new variant.
Now here's where insider Scandalous Media comes back. Of course, it's up to you to believe what you want, but I'm just passing along what I've been told and what's been echoing through the alleys of Hollywood's most scandalous, all to give y'all some much needed context. According to my source, Orlando allegedly cheated on Katy multiple times. One of those suspected affairs involved Selena Gomez, given their shady history. But the cheating reportedly hit its peak during their engagement. And interestingly, they were on the verge of breaking up shortly before Katy found out she was pregnant. This is also when the wedding kept getting postponed, supposedly due to the different COVID variants, but let's be real, COVID hasn't been a major excuse for over 3 years now, and they still never tied the knot. Despite all that, Katy was still holding on to hope, telling People magazine in August 2022 that she hoped to have more children with Orlando. Then in January 2023, she posed with his ex-wife Miranda Kerr at a gala where Katy honored Miranda with the Excellence in the Arts Award, poking fun at the media for not playing into the antiquated narrative of ex-wives and new wives and mud wrestling each other. Miranda even called Katy family.
When they asked me who do you want to present the award, I thought, well, it's either Katy or my husband. We're family, you know, and they know me the best and the most intimately.
In June 2023, Katy spoke about her sobriety pact with Orlando.
Oh.
She told People magazine that they agreed to a 3-month sober pact to temporarily cut out alcohol, calling the challenge an opportunity to reset. She said, "We did this because he's shooting a movie in London right now that's taking every ounce of his focus, and so I wanted that opportunity to be supportive." Notice who keeps blabbing to People magazine, by the way. Now let's take a look at 2024, because that was the last year they were together and they were really upping their performance and being in love bit, which is why it shocked many when they broke up this year. The year Katy came back and lost it all. In 2024, Orlando finally started showing up more in the media talking about Katy, which is notable considering that for the longest time, it was mostly her spilling the beans. In February 2024, the media even blew up over the smallest things, like a comment he left under one of her Instagram posts. Then April 2024 rolls around and Orlando starts yapping about falling in love with Katy, the person, not the celebrity.
I fell in love with Catherine, this girl from Santa Barbara, you know.
Then in September 2024, Katy opened up about her 2017 split from Orlando on the Call Her Daddy podcast. She basically said that he was more committed to the relationship than she was, and he gave her an ultimatum when he arrived from a 1-week retreat, and she even revealed that she initiated getting back together.
Who initiated getting back together? I was doing a show that was close to where he was on vacation, and I was like, I'll pop over.
She then goes on a whole tangent, which honestly was refreshing, where she talks about this idea of toxic independence, getting so caught up in being the alpha and not needing anyone that it stops being empowering and starts becoming isolating.
I do need a partner. And, that got me. Oh, Katy.
That same month, she's asked about the viral photo of Orlando staring at Kim Kardashian's butt while posing with Katy, and Katy is obviously not too pleased about it.
Have you seen this?
Literally, just got a notification.
It's kind of funny.
No, I have.
It's you taking a photo with Kim Kardashian,
Oh, yeah.
and Orlando is staring at her butt. Wait, hold on. I mean, how could you not? She's got...
I approve.
Now keep in mind that this entire year is Katy's big comeback era to music that has been hyped for years. She released Women's World, and everything just went downhill from there because of the scandal of working with Dr. Luke after the whole Kesha situation. Katy didn't handle the situation with grace, went on to release the 143 album and even tour, and everyone thought she was trying too hard to be the Katy from 15 years ago. However, Orlando was seemingly there supporting her at every point, even during her huge VMAs performance. He was even the one who introduced her by her birth name to accept the prestigious Video Vanguard Award.
You fell in love with her as Katy Perry. I fell in love with her as Catherine Hudson.
She was even promoting the song that's about him, I'm his, he's mine, by doing this bit at her concert where she accuses a fan of trying to get with her man.
I have the lyrics.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. Get it. I've been doing it for months, ever since the presidency.
Yeah.
You didn't come to see me play. You didn't DMing my man. I'm gonna have you removed.
That was May of this year. This brings us to June 26, 2025, where a source told People magazine that they called off their engagement and have gone their separate ways. An insider previously told them, they're pretty much done. I don't really see them being able to turn things around here. And ever since the breakup news, she's been seen crying on stage. So this brings me to the next part of the video. What went wrong? When it was first announced that Orlando and Katy had broken off their engagement, everyone wanted to know why, and of course, some trusty dusty moles came through with the tea. One source told the Daily Mail that there had been rumors for months about tension between the two, especially with Orlando noticeably absent from Katy's 143 tour and her recent space trip. Apparently, he told her the whole thing looked ridiculous, and according to the insider, Katy was really hurt by his lack of support. Imagine going to space and your partner isn't impressed, they said. Orlando even reportedly blasted the space flight in April as embarrassing and cringeworthy in the middle of a fight. Interestingly enough, Katy painted a different picture of Orlando when she told a radio show in March that he was all about her historic journey to space.
We want to get input from each other. And he's also all about the journey.
In fact, he was even photographed on site supporting her before and after the launch. Their breakup came just as Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez were gearing up for their extravagant wedding celebrations, and for Katy, that timing reportedly hit hard. According to one source, he complains about her going to space and then he wants to go to the wedding of the people who made it possible for her to do this in the first place. They're already spiraling, and now the wedding is another thing they have to fight about. TMZ reported that Katy wouldn't be attending the wedding due to prior commitments, aka her Lifetimes tour, but insiders say she felt the invitation was more hers than his, which made Orlando's decision to go solo even harder for her to accept. The insider said that Orlando's attendance feels like a FU to her from him, and that they're really her friends more than his, and yet he's the one going to the wedding, and he's insistent that he goes, which annoys her because he's not particularly close to either of them. This wasn't the first time the two couples had vacationed together either. Back in 2023, shortly after Bezos and Lauren's engagement party, they were spotted strolling through the streets of Croatia with Usher during a luxe yacht trip. Despite the split, Orlando did attend the Bezos wedding solo. He was seen living it up in Italy, warmly greeting Kim and Khloe Kardashian and Kris Jenner over lunch in Venice. Oh, and he was also spotted on a stroll with none other than Sydney Sweeney. The timing? Brutal. Katy made a point to post a smiling social media upload clarifying her good mood at the time, and Lauren commented, "We miss you, Katy." Now, aside from the Bezos wedding and failed space trip, sources claim more things went on. People magazine reports that Katy's devastating album flop caused stress. The insider said Katy was deeply frustrated following the reception of her new album, 143, and it made her very stressed. Orlando was understanding, but it did cause some tension. According to People magazine sources, Katy and Orlando have been dealing with the same problems for years. Nothing new, just a never-ending loop of stress and bad communication. They had too much going on in their lives, which made it hard to find time for each other and iron out disagreements, the source said. When they don't communicate properly, their relationship dips to a low level. The source added that before the split, they were living on an island of stress and things had been rocky. Another film source, because yes, we've got categories of sources now, described the split as sad and unpleasant, but said the focus now is on co-parenting Daisy. And here's the one-liner from the source that kinda says it all. Sometimes love isn't enough to keep two people with different styles and outlooks on how things are done together. It can overshadow the love. As for Orlando, he broke his silence by reposting quotes on Instagram. You know, the usual heartbreak aesthetic. A little Buddha wisdom, some meditative sunlight soundtrack, and a motivational slide about taking the first step. RadarOnline painted an even messier picture of what was going on behind the scenes, and this time, it wasn't about miscommunication or emotional disconnect, but pure career frustration. Apparently, they're arguing over being flops nowadays. According to their sources, Katy and Orlando were having endless rows over the fact that both of their careers had cooled off, and the pressure of watching each other struggle professionally eventually boiled over. They couldn't take the strain of watching each other fail, one insider said, adding that their personal frustrations started turning into fights with each other. Orlando has apparently been pushing hard for another breakout role after a string of forgettable projects and is now hoping that reprising the role of Legolas in The Hunt for Gollum might finally put him back in leading man territory, even though that's still a year away from shooting. Until then, he's being cautious about what he signs onto next. One source said he's felt stuck in a creative rut and has no real interest in doing TV long term, especially after watching how demanding Idol was on Katy's schedule. As for Katy, the source said she's desperate for a hit, something that'll bring the fans back and remind people who she is as an artist. The pressure of her Lifetime's tour not landing the way she hoped, combined with 143, her album, not hitting #1, definitely added to the tension. Then there's the money thing, and while most people wouldn't consider a $75 million net worth a problem, the source said that Orlando was sensitive to how much more Katy brings in, and that he got defensive at any suggestion that he was just a house husband. According to the insider, that wealth gap added to the dynamic that was already under strain. It's been stressful as hell for them, the source said, so no wonder their separate battles ended up in them turning on each other. No relationship could withstand that. Yikes. Here's what I think. Based on what I know about them and what I've heard from sources, I haven't heard anything about Orlando cheating on Katy in the last 2 years, so maybe after Daisy was born, he really did commit. But what I have heard is that Katy was laser focused on making a big comeback, desperate to reclaim the level of fame and success she had between 2010 and 2013. And honestly, that drive may have ended up getting in the way of her relationship with Orlando, which lines up with what a lot of the media sources have been suggesting. It's possible she became overbearing in her pursuit of that #1 spot, and maybe Orlando couldn't sit back and watch her go full force for a career resurgence while he was fading further into the background. I don't think he could handle that dynamic, especially if their time together was mostly about keeping up appearances, with Katy trying to project this image that everything was perfect. Eventually, that kind of facade can only hold up for so long, and from the outside, it seemed like Katy was the one holding on the hardest. Just look at the timeline I painted earlier in the video, with Katy pushing for more kids despite the wedding setback and even going back to him after the breakup. Orlando's insecurity definitely seems to have played a role too. He's even hinted at how different their worlds are, which to be honest shouldn't be a deal breaker in a relationship, but clearly became one for them. In a 2023 interview with Flaunt magazine, he said, "We're in two very different pools. Her pool is not a pool that I necessarily understand, and I think my pool is not a pool that she necessarily understands. Sometimes things are really challenging, I won't lie." He added, "We definitely battle with our emotions and creativity, but I think we're both aware of how blessed we are to have uniquely connected in the way that we did at the time that we did, and there's definitely never a dull moment." At the end of the day, it really seemed like Katy was more invested in the relationship than Orlando, especially when it came to keeping up appearances. Even though her comeback has clearly been in the works for the past 2 years and they've been together for nearly a decade, that final push for her to return to the spotlight might have been what ultimately broke them. It's honestly a little telling that she seemed more committed to making things work even after years of stalled wedding plans and the old cheating rumors with Selena Gomez hanging in the background. And looking back, the signs were there, and maybe the relationship had been running on borrowed time long before we realized it. And I can only imagine how Katy is going to use this breakup to maybe release a new breakup album, since she clearly wants that #1 spot badly. But they will forever be connected because of one thing: the reunion. Just a month after their breakup went public, Katy and Orlando were back together, not romantically, but co-parenting on a yacht. A $500 million yacht to be exact. They were reunited in Italy on Bezos' yacht, joined by Lauren and their 4-year-old daughter, Daisy. Katy was spotted in a black bikini and oversized sunglasses, looking unbothered, while Orlando played the doting dad, lifting Daisy into the air and kissing her cheek as Katy looked on. Katy might have missed out on the Bezos wedding, but she made up for it real quick by pulling up to the yacht and reminding Orlando whose circle he's really in, something he's clearly insecure about, as he revealed in the Flaunt magazine 2 years prior. The two even took Daisy out for a family stroll and some ice cream in Capri, showing a perfectly curated front just days after announcing their split. Their joint statement said that they'd continue to be seen together as a family, and yeah, they meant that very literally. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my breakdown of Katy and Orlando's relationship and all the behind the scenes context that's been bubbling under the surface. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Katy's comeback put too much pressure on the relationship? Was Orlando ever really all in? And is there any chance they could get back together, or is this the final chapter? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to follow us on our social media, especially our new Instagram, The Scandalous Media, since our old one got taken down. Like and subscribe for new videos every week. Turn on those post notifications so you never miss the live chat premiere we do for every single video. And as always, I'll see you next time.